Hello, friends. Trying StreamYard today. Switching it up because I like to be able to do this. Send the link out to a couple of people. It was kind of last minute, but we'll see if they hop on. Uh, Jake, what's up, my brother? It's good to see you. I don't know if I have your contact, Jake. I'm not sure, but if you guys want to hop on at all, I could send it over. I could send the link over to you guys if you're not doing nothing. Excuse my raspiness. So, for those of you who don't remember this, it's been a while, but Subscriber Sunday, I'm just going to show up, just kind of hang out. If we have anybody hop on, cool, that'll be great. But if not, yeah, you guys like kind of run it, just run it, whichever way you want it to go. Just that's how it'll go. So for that short video I put up, that I put, did you see it? I should have did more. I don't think, like, it's hard on shorts, and it's annoying to me because I can't do a lot in the description, and timestamps aren't available, etc., etc. So it's Squatch Watch. Good to see you. My holiday was good, thank you. It was nice. We had a little family turkey day. Wasn't feeling my best, but it's just the name of the game. Scotty B, good to see you. Toby, good to see you. Thank you guys for hanging out. You guys have been here a while. You guys know how this goes. Yeah, so I can't do much with that video, like with the shorts. It's annoying. But anyway, so I went to the community tab and I put a, what do you call it? I put a video picture up of like where the emphasis is, like the area that you should be looking. So if you're interested and you want to check it out. And that's that. So I had a few extra minutes today, and it's been a while since we did one of these, so here we are. I like StreamYard better because you could do that. You could do that thing with you could highlight the comments. My back and neck are hurting today, so I'm using this. I'm kind of using this to weigh myself, pull my neck and upper back down. I do actually, Jake. I actually do. In the last video I did, it was Friday. In between, I don't know if I said it on video or not, but what's up, Sean? Good to see you. But I don't know if it was on film or not, but I literally stopped and I was talking to him for a while, and I said, happy Thanksgiving. I hope I said, I don't know if you guys celebrate it, but I know you guys have been around as long as we've been celebrating it. So, but I left them a gourd. I left them a few things, but I left them a gourd and wrote Happy Thanksgiving on it. Bigfoot or not, what's up, brother? I wasn't sure. I was actually gonna send you the link, but I wasn't sure if you were around. I know you've been grinding, bro. Hats off to you, man. I know you got a lot going all the time, so keep up the good work, though. It's fun. It's fun to watch, bro. It really is. You and Matt, I like watching you guys, man. You guys are always grinding. Ooh, video, by the way, with the dog or coyote, and whatever kind of cat. Hope everyone had a blessed Thanksgiving. Thank you. They both were cool. You know, like I can't even emphasize the amount of times stuff like that has happened, and I've left it out. I just left it out because it wasn't like I'll have a short video of it and I just like let it go by the wayside because it wasn't a Bigfoot. And you know, in my early days, I just didn't know any better. I didn't know that it could be something. You know, I just didn't know. I didn't know, so I would just let those things go to waste. You know, I was out with Brian once, Montauk is Strange, and we seen some weird stuff. Not once, but the one time we seen this deer, and I can't even explain to you what was on its head or its antlers. And granted, it could have just been a deer with something weird on its antlers, right? It got into somebody's something, but it disappeared. It, gone. And then we seen the other thing too that came by with the conical head, and we couldn't make out what was below it. We only caught the top of the head, but I mean, there's nothing out there that fits the bill, you know, that it could be. Yes. All right. So you already know, like I like to leave. Only sometimes do I go back, but when I do, even if I see something, I'd kind of like to leave, you know, not kind of, I like to leave it up for the, you know, viewer. Like let them kind of see it the way they're going to see it, and then we'll talk about it. As the comments come in or whatever, I'll start to give my opinions, but I don't like to put too much into it before because then I feel like I'm clouding your mind. You know, I don't want to have too much influence on what you see. And the point of that is not only do I not want to like push somebody to see something that they may not see or like rush them or influence you, but your opinion and the way you look at it matters. It matters so much, and it makes such a huge difference in stuff that I may not process properly or I may not process at all. And then one of you watch it and you're like, oh, whatever you say makes everything click. So as I was leaving, I think I said it. I think I said it on one of the videos. I did put them out of order. I'm sorry. My editing skills suck, but we all know that much. We all know my tech skills are nil. So I kept hearing like redirect or redirected or one of those two words. And it was when I was thinking about that dog or whatever it was, and you know, I said thank you. I said thank you. If it was you guys, if you guys redirected that dog or whatever that was, you know, thank you. And then it kept coming through like redirected, redirected, like a confirmation almost. Um, Sometimes it could get really frustrating because it'll just be like one word like that, and like there's no explanation, there's no details, there's nothing. You know, I know that it wasn't just my mind sitting there doing that. You know what I mean? Because I was having my natural thoughts, and then that kept like kind of interfering. Let's see. Um, guess no, nobody here yet. So again, we'll hang out for a little while. Um, I know it's early for a lot of you guys, especially those who may be overseas in different time zones other than East, Central, West. You know, those 3 or 4 time zones. Um, Even the guys on the West Coast, I know you guys have. You know, it's early for you right now. I think it's probably about 7:30 there, maybe 6:30. It's 10:30 here. So I always get confused if it's 3 or 4 hours behind. Sean will correct me, I'm sure. It's not hard to cloud this old brain. Freaking chronic pain sucks. Yeah, well, you know, you know how it goes. Like when you have that much chronic pain in it, it's so regular, and there's like it just starts to take over. It starts to take over. That's one of the main reasons I get out there, even when I'm having a really, really bad day, pain wise, or migraine, or whatever. I have a few disabilities, but even when I'm having one of the worst days, I push through. I'm able to at this point, but um, one day, like just like any sports player, they could be the best in the world, but at some point, somebody tells them they got to sit down. You know, whether it's pain, whether it's a doctor, or pain, or whether it's father time, or uh, you know, whatever. At some point, you got to sit down, and that's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, especially with the things that I have. They're not gonna just go away. So it's just gonna get progressively worse and worse. So I run and gun. I run and gun and run and gun. And then one day I'm gonna be forced to sit down. And then we'll have this huge bank, video bank. And we'll be able to go back through that. And we'll do that. We'll sit there just like this. By then, when it's time for me to sit down, that's where I'll put everything into. And we'll sit down and maybe we'll go over each one together. And I'll show you the way I look through it, and I'll show you the way I pull things out, and how I work through things. And I've picked up pieces from different people, along the way that have helped me. Because at first I couldn't see a damn thing. That's why we do these little practice things sometimes. All right, put the little thing over there in the community tab, because it's good practice. Because I couldn't see anything at first. I needed a lot of help. I've had success with communicating in visual imagery with them. But I thought, okay, see, so that's cool. I actually was just talking about you yesterday to somebody. Well, I didn't mention you by name, but you were who I was referring to. But one of these shows had 2 dogman encounters, and one of them was like, "Dogman is my neighbors are werewolves," and the other one was like, "Dogman is my friend." And it's not a common story. It's not a story you hear every day. Like that people have positive things with them. Wolfmen, dogmen, werewolves, lichens, whatever they are, whatever they're categorized, Rougarou, yeah. No, it's okay, man. When I do these live streams, Toby, it's a lot of times it's very, very short notice. So so I know I'm still shocked by it sometimes too. But then I realize that it's like, it's they're not the strictly physical beings that they made us, we were led to believe so for so many years. Now through this social media thing, that we're all able to reach each other all over the place, and now we're able to take over what we used to, the information we used to get was just strictly through books or just through TV, and that was it. We didn't have many options, or you went in person, so it was all controlled. Now we're able to reach at least a few people here and there. We're never gonna A YouTube channel is never gonna take over mass media, but what's up, brother? Good to see you, Eric. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so what is here? Let me know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, so yeah, I appreciate it, Sean. I do, bro. Thank you. Um, Damn, I don't know what I was gonna say. Doesn't matter. It probably wasn't that important. So I'm gonna officially write this book. I'm gonna do it a little differently than most people do it. It's gonna take me a long time to do it because I don't have a lot of time and I don't have a lot of discipline. When I do have free time, you guys know I like to go to the woods. So chances of me sitting down and writing a damn, book or a chapter or whatever is very slim to none. So what I'm gonna do is try to do like a page or two every week. I'm doing it very, very differently than most. Very, very differently because it's got to be appealing to me. It's got to be appealing to other people. So I'm gonna mix it up. You know me. I like to switch things up. I don't like to do what everybody's done already. Why do it? You know what I mean? Obviously, some things just happen the same way. It just is what it is. But guys, oh, Mogion Monster, happy birthday, bro. Happy birthday. Tim T is he's awesome. Tim T is awesome. Tim T in Florida is his channel. Tim T is awesome. He's so close to 1,000 subscribers. If you guys don't mind at some point shooting over there, clicking that button, he deserves it. Him and his wife, they're awesome people. Supernatural Spectrum, it's a great channel. Underrated. He does awesome. He just did one the other day, but he does awesome documentaries and stuff, put stuff together. This podcast too. A lot of people. I can't really think of them off the top of my head. Blue Line Bigfoot. Their Christmas spectacular is coming up. Really amazing. Obviously, it's almost Christmas, so I know it's crazy to say, but yeah. So they do really something fun on their channel. So if you guys aren't subscribed to Blue Line Bigfoot, you'll want to be there. What's the subject today? Oh, that's cool. I'll buy that book. A lot of people said that because I kept saying like nobody's gonna read it, and then all you guys kept saying no, I would. I don't read. Like I don't read. I've never read a book. Period. Never read a book. So it's not like anything personal to anybody that like, oh, I didn't read your book. Like no, I've never read a book. Period. So I just assumed it would be boring, you know. Oh wait, somebody's here. Let's see. Oh, all right.
How you doing?
Hey, my guy.
I just got up, man.
I know. I know it's short notice again.
No, yeah, it's cool. But it's 7:30 in the morning here. I don't normally. Sometimes I get up this early, and sometimes I don't. But I happen to see it. So how you doing?
Sorry, I don't know time zone, so I really don't. Like, I'm so bad with it.
Oh no, it's fine. It's fine. It's absolutely fine.
I've been talking about having you on for, we've been going back and forth offline, so people don't even know how bad it's been. But I keep saying it here and there. I'm like, oh, I want to have Brian on, and but we keep trying offline too, and it never works out. But I'm glad you're here.
Yeah. Well, look at my hair, man. Jeez.
No, look at that.
Well, you don't have that problem. You got to cut pretty short.
I know, yeah, but I don't know. I was like this even before the military. I liked it. I like to be very short hair and clean cut and stuff. I don't know. It just as much as I like the idea of having like a nice wild hairstyle, like it drives me nuts. Like I don't know how to explain it. Maybe it's the army, but I'm so used to being like even if I get a little tiny stubble, I'm shaving. I still dry shave too. I don't use shaving cream and stuff. I slap a little water on and I just shave. It's like we never had time to do it, and that's just I'm still like I don't know why it's just I'm still that way.
Yeah, I do that sometimes. I don't actually use shaving cream. Like you put a little soap on or something maybe. You know,
Sasquatch speaks. So, Brian, for those that don't that may not know who you are, you want to give a little background?
Oh, geez. I just woke up, man. Okay, well.
Well, where can they find you at least? So,
I'm
because
just teasing. I'm just teasing you.
yeah,
Well, I got a call to go to the mountains in 2012, a telepathic call from the Sasquatch. You know, the words came into my head, go to the mountains. And it was, never experienced anything quite like that before. I had previous experiences, but not with Sasquatch, but I was always fascinated with them. So I think the connection was already there, just waiting for the right time. So after that, I just started connecting. You know, they started connecting me with all different people, including yourself. You know, like it just connections, because they want to open people up. You know, to who they are and more specifically who we are. So I'm constantly connecting to people that can enhance my journey, like yourself, and vice versa. And you know, it's just amazing. So, you know, like for instance, I'll get a call to go to the woods or something. It's just like an energy because they're all about energy. They connect with you with energy and you know, thought placement, telepathy, stuff like that. So. I get an urge to go to the woods, for instance, and this happens all the time. This kind of stuff, and actually, it was around midnight, and it was on my birthday. So I went to the woods, and I saw this guy at the gate because they close my area. Depends on if it's winter hours or summer hours. But this guy was doing a movie security guard, and so he was at the gate swinging it open for vehicles to come in and out. And I can't remember what movie they were filming, but might have even been Planet of the Apes, one of the new ones, the newest one, because it was filmed right up in my area. Eh?
Yeah.
Which kind of made me laugh because I was wondering, what are the Sasquatch thinking of these guys running around in monkey suits?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You gotta wonder, right?
Yeah, they must have thought, man, these guys are, what's up with these guys? But anyway, so you know, like stuff like that. So I went there and I started talking to the guy because I could feel he was kind of like open, spiritually open and stuff. And morning coffee. Are you a morning coffee guy?
If I have time. My wife makes it way too dark. Like, so I gotta I get it though. Like she's a you know, she's the matriarch of a huge, you know, young child family. So like I get why she needs it that way, but I can't handle it. Like
put a little hot water into it or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah. So anyway, sorry we're getting off track. But so I went to the woods and talking to this guy, and I asked him, "Do you know what Sasquatch is?" And this guy was like Russian, right? And or something, and he didn't know what a Sasquatch was, but then I said, "Well, do you know what a Yeti or a Bigfoot is?" And he knew what that was. So I started telling him about them, and this guy's pretty open-minded. And it was weird because he said, "Well, that's funny you mentioned that because just before you got here, I heard something big, like bipedal walking around in the bush just off to my left, like really obvious footsteps." And the guy had never experienced anything like that before, right? So it was no coincidence that I was there. And this kind of stuff happens all the time. I'll start talking about Sasquatch, and then the people I'm talking to just had an experience, or the Sasquatch will reach out to them right there energetically or do something. So that's unusual. So anyway, so the guy said he just heard Sasquatch walking around, or he didn't know it was Sasquatch, but something bipedal walking around in the bush just off to our left. And as we were talking, then my hearing's not good. I wear hearing aids, so he then heard them walking around us. Like he could hear them walking around us as we were talking.
Yeah.
I could feel the energy. I could really feel the energy. I knew they were there. So, this kind of stuff that's no coincidence. So then, as we're talking and whatever, I told the guy, well, just all you have to do is say, hi, what was this guy's name now? Doesn't matter. Anyway, said Bob, just say, hey, I'm Bob and I'm open to meeting you, because, it's just from the heart, right? If you give a sincere wish to meet them on an unconditional, no agenda kind of level and from the heart or whatever, then that's how you do it. So I said, just, say hi to them or whatever. This guy was quite enamored with everything by that time, like no coincidence. You hear them walking around and in the bush. Oh, and then we also saw some strange lights in the bush too. That could not have been of human origin, right? All this was going on. So I said, just say hi to them or whatever, you're here all night anyway. And I said, I'll come back the next day. So I came back the next day and he said that during the night, there was a really strong floral perfume smell in his car that was with him all night. And he felt a really loving, powerful kind of energy and a really benevolent energy. And he knew somebody was with him. And it's not surprising that that was Raja Say, who's in my clan up here, the female. She has that really beautiful floral scent to her. I've got some stories revolving around that too that are pretty amazing when she introduced herself to me with that. But anyway, he said that he felt like really at peace. He felt wonderful, like really kind of, one with everything kind of stuff. You know how that feels.
Yeah.
And he said that it even followed him home. It was even in the car with him when he went home, at least for a certain part of the drive, I guess. And so, that kind of stuff, that's all about connections, right? So at that point, that guy has the opportunity to take it where he wants to go,
Sure.
So, people like you and I guess, we go around planting seeds for people and offering our experiences and stuff, and then they have the opportunity, the free will, free choice to do what they want with it, right?
Sure.
Some guys have really done stuff, and
yeah. Well, I guess there's different. I'm definitely like a messenger, like whatever. They told me like you're an ambassador between peoples and whatever, and I guess we all have different roles and stuff, but
yeah, same with me.
I don't think there was any coincidence that you bumped into. They may have been trying to, whatever, I'm just speculating, but they may have been trying to reach him, but like they used you to kind of
unquestionably,
lift that confidence for him or whatever the case may be, or the connector piece to for him to start his journey.
Unquestionably, it's unquestionable because it's happened so many times that you just recognize it for what it is, right?
And you said it before, it sounds so simple what you told him to do, but that's really like what it boils down to just talk to them and say, hey, I'm here and I'd like to learn, and or I'd like to be part of whatever you want to show me. And
yeah. Well, you're going to learn way more from them. I mean, you can go out and spend a bunch of money on equipment and stuff like game cams and like I don't even know what all the equipment is because I don't use it. What's night vision, all that stuff, and you can spend like thousands or whatever those things cost, amount of dollars doing it, and spend all day in the field or whatever. But you're going to get way more response and you're going to learn way more about them just by saying, hey, I'd like to meet you. Because they're only interested in meeting people who want to meet them on a heart-to-heart level and the people that they can reach out to and teach. And, that's why with I'm not saying this with any, I'm just saying this from what I've observed. And it's not a judgment thing at all because Sasquatch don't believe in judgment. It's one of their big core lessons. But these guys who have the big names and go around trying to hunt them and have these, hunting and killing Bigfoot shows or whatever, that's the damn thing about them. I'm sorry to say.
But it's laughable. It's laughable when you think about it, though. Like, and I don't know. It's just so laughable. Like, because once you know, like, what they're like, even some of their capabilities, and like to think that you're gonna go out there with a bunch of rifles and a bunch of guys and in camouflage and and out trick them, like, I don't know. I mean,
they're standing right beside you if they want to be, and you won't even see them.
do you know, like, I try to emphasize, because I mean I was in Kandahar, but I try to emphasize, like, when they went to get the Kandahar giant, they sent a huge team of special forces, and they didn't make it back. And then the second team didn't do well with it either. So I mean, and they knew exactly where they had went to a cave mouth that this thing was physically standing in. So, like, I don't understand why these average Joes, with their, why you would want, first of all, why would you want to kill it? I don't understand that part, but
well, a lot of it's ego and stuff, and
yeah, I don't know. Maybe some of it's just for attention, and I don't know. I really don't know. It doesn't appeal to me.
But in all honesty, like I said, I don't want to judge these. I hope I didn't sound like I'm judging these people. I'm just making an observation. What did this guy say? Ants. Don't know how someone could handle something like that, Brian. Not sure what he means.
Yeah, I'm not sure which part. We covered a lot, so I'm not sure which part he's.
But anyway, I'm not criticizing these guys or judging them or anything. But and in a sense, they're doing their own part too, because they are introducing people to Sasquatch, and then people can start walking their own journey. Like even this Finding Bigfoot show or something like that. I mean, if you watch it and then you want to experience more because that's the kind of person you are, or you're a heartfelt person, or you're, you start getting inquisitive and finding out more, than they can open up a lot of possibilities to the masses. But for those guys personally, they don't really want to work with them, because their main thing is they want to, if you have a connection with them and they're teaching you whatever, they want to teach you about who you are actually, so
yeah. Well, that's, I think, one of the hardest things, like, to accept. And I'm not gonna it's hard for me sometimes too, because like it's natural to, when you go out there, like, you want to have an agenda. Like, it's what most people do. They go out there, like you said, with their gear and their equipment, and they have a mode, they have an idea in their head of what they're gonna do, and they're gonna go out there and they're gonna look for footprints, and they're gonna look for tree breaks, and they're gonna do this. But I try to emphasize that if you just go out there and you could do all that stuff. I do it, but I mean, if you just go out there and just say, hey, I'm here, I don't know shit about shit, I just want you guys to show me, just
you're
teach
on my
me.
show, shit about a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But like, but only because I let them tell me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, I love going out there and finding their structures and their glyphs. I mean, they teach through glyphs.
You find,
and I take a lot of pictures, and sometimes they show up in my pictures.
Yeah.
But I don't go out there and purposely try to take pictures of them. The pictures I take of their glyphs and their structures or whatever, some of which are human made, but a lot of them are made by them. That's kind of an inexact science of structures, but you look for patterns and collaborative evidence around them. But in any event, I do that stuff because that's like a teaching tool to people. It opens up their minds, and and that's kind of what we do in the Pork and Bean show and stuff. And that's what I do on my YouTube channel and stuff. But it's not, the main thing is the personal connection between it. And the teaching and like a student-teacher relationship. That's the main thing. But I love going out and finding their stuff. I love finding their traps. I love finding the stuff they do, because it's so creative, and it's just kind of neat, to to imagine that you're standing right where a Sasquatch person was building something.
Oh, that is so humbling to like put your, I mean, I'm sure you've done it, but like to take your shoe and sock off and put your bare foot in one of their prints. I mean, like just stand barefooted where they just stood. It's just like, I don't know, and then sometimes I'll sit with them for a while and people are like, oh, you sat with them? Like, yeah, I sat with them. Like, it doesn't have, it's not always that there's a physical, thing next to me, flesh and blood giant next to me, but like when they're there and it's almost the same thing, but it's not. Like, I don't know how to explain it necessarily in words, but
You watching?
I'm on it, talking on the phone.
Oh.
Now she's going to be embarrassed.
that's all right.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man, absolutely. Oh shoot! Somebody asked a question. Oh, okay.
There you go. I'll bring it
Talking
back.
with Sasquatch asked a question. It's pretty cool. You want me to read it, or do you want to?
Go ahead. I don't care.
I like you, man. You're laid back. We're pretty good buddies, actually, for the small amount of time we've known each other. True, because we're kind of the same mindset. I think they know what you're there for before you get out of your car, and they are watching you the whole time, and are way closer than most people would believe. Well, that's all true. Matter of fact, they even know what you're going to do before you even formulate the thought. As hard as that is to believe, that's actually true, because their time is not linear like ours. Everything is in the moment for them, and they can access the past and the future all in the now. So, for instance, when I started understanding what some of the glyphs meant, a personal meaning between myself and them, because that is what it is. It's there's not a across the board meaning for them.
Yeah.
Not in my relationship with them. And once you start to understand what the glyphs mean, you're going to realize, because I document all the pictures, got thousands and thousands of pictures of glyphs. Once you start realizing what they mean, you're going to find out that they already knew what you were going to come up with and what the meaning was between the two of you years even before you even had the thought. And they've proven that to me like over and over and over again. So it's undeniable.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny how they like when I have doubts, how they eliminate those doubts. And it's not just in an easy way. It's like with such overkill and humor. And you know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, you have a little bit of a doubt. Like, if I'm like, oh, that tree snap could be something else, it could have been a person that walked by and did it. I mean, the next, like, and this is in the beginning, but I would do it. But then the next one would be like, I don't know how to explain it to you, but like, it would be like the most outrageous thing that would like eliminate all doubt.
Exactly. No, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
That's exactly how they do it with me. And I think that sometimes they put thought placement in your head. They give you that thought, that question in your head, so that because they want you to find out the answer. That happens to me all the time. Like, I wonder if they did this, or I wonder if it's like this. And I look down on the ground and instantly there's a glyph or something that has my answer there, or they'll answer in some other way, many different ways. But, and like you said, it's like a hammer over the head. It's like obvious, right?
Yes. Yeah. With the glyphs, like with me, they told me to reference the rune alphabet. And it took me forever because I heard it, but I was pronouncing it wrong. So I'm trying to look for this alphabet, and I kept spelling it wrong. I was writing in ruined. I think I was typing in ruined alphabet or something, and I'm like, maybe it's because the alphabet we use is ruined, so I have to find this ruined alphabet, or like ruined alphabet. And I'm like, and I realized, I'm like, man, I just gotta like slow it down a little bit, just.
Yeah. So are they telling you that? Is it a personal meaning between you and them, or do you know what any of them mean, or is it?
I would imagine so. I mean, so I try to take lessons at a time and then kind of move on and kind of focus on what they're teaching me then and there. So like, like right now, I believe it just came to a close finally, but I'm not 100%. But they were teaching me blending and bending and how they, blend into things, and then how they light bend and bend all these different elements and this and that. And it was one of the longer lessons, and I kind of get tired of even talking about it at this point, because you don't really have a time frame for things. You just, if you're doing it the right way, in my opinion, at least the right way, you just kind of go with whatever until it comes to a close. Until they want to show you something new, you just go with it, So I don't force anything. But
Blending and bending. What is that all about?
You'll have.
It's just when you say you didn't want to talk about it, so.
Well, no. Like I don't like to discuss things until I have like the whole, the whole. The whole thing, together at least. But it's in essence, it's like light bending. Light bending, how they do light bending, and then like but they were showing me that they bend more elements than just light. They bend a few different, a lot of different elements, which I didn't know. They can blend into everything, blending and bending. Like they pretty much were showing me how they use everything in the forest. The leaves, the trees, the ground, the sticks, the mycelium, everything.
So you're referring to how they cloak and stuff? You mean they just blend and?
Yeah. So that's kind of how I just dumbed it down, was blending and bending. That's what I'm calling it. But yes, it's cloaking, or the veil, how they use these things, and whatever.
Yeah.
However you want to categorize it. Yes.
Yeah. The last time I had a sighting, it was kind of similar to that, and I know exactly what you're talking about. But I looked over to my left, and I saw what I thought was a stump. But then I saw what looked like it was kind of like in that time of night where it's kind of like fuzzy. It's like dusk or whatever, and it's kind of hard to see.
Yeah.
But I saw what I thought was a head popping up and down behind it, or I think the stump was actually it. Actually, yeah. It looked like a stump.
Yeah.
And there was a head bobbing up and down, and I kind of looked, and I just said, can't be, whatever. And although I know about their abilities and they can do all that stuff, but I just thought, probably just a stump. I'm probably just seeing something. But then my attention was drawn elsewhere for a few seconds. I looked back, and the stump was gone. So.
That happened to me.
Walk away unless it's a Sasquatch stuff.
Yeah, that happened to me about a month and a half ago. I was looking across this small wall, not small, but it was a swimming hole. Where I was, the river wasn't wide, probably about 20 feet wide, and I thought there was a giant boulder. I mean, they're all over the Catskill Mountains. It's huge, these huge like glacier rocks, and I just could have sworn that's what it was. And as I kind of panned by and then panned back, that giant boulder wasn't there no more. And something told me, something was off, but it looked so good that I let myself just talk myself out of it, where I shouldn't have. Yeah. My instinct was saying something else, but I was like, no, and just kind of kept panning. So.
Yeah, no, well, that's similar to the stump thing, I guess. But yeah. So, what were you talking about before I came on? I remember you were talking about not reading books and whatever.
Yeah. So you wrote a book recently.
You're not going to read it?
I'd like to say yeah. Like I've done, and just again, don't take it personal, but like I've done this with like so many people. Like I go to want to read their book because I'm interested in this stuff, obviously, but I just never do it. Like it just happened to me. I have books. I have like a bunch of books, but you sent me one, and I don't even know how to download the thing. I swear it's like open your OneDrive and your Microsoft password and this, and I'm like, I don't have no Microsoft. I'm like, what? I just don't know what I don't understand it.
I get you. Yeah, I get you. Yeah, well, I'm kind of like that too, because I kind of like to keep the teachings one-on-one between myself and them. So I don't like to be influenced too much by other people.
I'm the same way, actually. Yeah. Yeah.
But
It's hard at this point, when you speak to so many people so regularly, though. In the beginning, I was really strong about that. I was like, I don't want to know about it. I don't want to see nothing. I don't want to have no outside influence. But now,
exactly.
it gets harder and harder and harder as time goes on, because you hear so many different things from so many people.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a good thing, like on the bacon and eggs.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's cooking now.
Is that your wife?
No, I think you might be referring to your wife cooking in there. I don't know.
No, somebody said ants. Says bacon and eggs.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe she's having bacon and eggs.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, Barb's shoe.
Yeah, I know Barb shoe. Yeah.
Oh, I know
She's a
this
friend.
guy, Selkirk. I think it's Selkirk County, Sasquatch or something. And he does a lot of good stuff. And he did and I was happy he titled it that. Like, it was like the stump that wasn't a stump or whatever. And I know people get criticized for that crap all the time. That's not Bigfoot, that's a stump. And I'm like, well, what's the difference? To an extent, what's the difference? That's what this whole last lesson was about too, was how they're just, they can be one with anything and everything. So,
well, we're one with everything and anything.
Sure. I mean, we're just right.
We just don't have the understanding that they do about it, but we are too.
Yeah. One of the things they told me was, like, stop separating us from the forest. Don't look for Patty walking through the woods. Don't stop separating us. Like, we're here, but you're looking for an individual, and we're part of the forest. When they do walk out in the open, it's great. Don't get me wrong, it's amazing. I love it. Nothing better. Cool. Especially if you get to share it, but it's not always the case. Majority of the time, it's not the case. And then they also told me that, they were emphasized that we have like this hierarchy type of like thing where we put things into classes, and like a hunter will, most hunters will hunt deer and think that they're outsmarting the deer, like, because they're doing all these things, but they don't look at it that way. Like, everything is equal. A rock, a tree, a deer, a human, a Sasquatch, everybody is on the same level.
Exactly.
Everybody and everything.
Yeah, when I got my Love Zap experience, that's one of the knowings that they gave me. Like, no judgment, or like that's the reason why we've lost our connection to nature and to our true, and to who we truly are, is because we our ego and tries to put us above everything, separated from everything, when we're actually connected to everything. That's one of the reasons that we're so easily controlled by nefarious forces these days, or whatever, too, because they make us think that we're divided.
Yeah,
we're not divided. We're all, like, and there is no division, and we shouldn't have judgment. But we're constantly brought up by our parents and by society, constantly judge. We're this, you're that, we're divided, and it's all negative vibrations, and keeps us from understanding our true nature. Because and if we did that, we'd be pretty dangerous to the people who want to keep us from knowing that. So it's by design, right?
Robin's here.
Yeah. Somebody asked me what the name of my book is. Well, if you're like us, you probably won't want to read it.
No, I'm not being good. Like, I shouldn't say that, because then maybe it makes people not want to read books.
It's true though. I'm the same way, like, but some people love it. I mean, but my book is about a lot of experiences that I've had, but I also, try to talk about the lessons, but it's pretty heavy book, actually, pretty detailed. So I'm pretty proud of it. Took me a long time. Well, actually, you could feel, I could feel my clans, writing behind me. I mean, they guided everything. And, so I think that everything in there is at least true to me, because they don't let me get too far off track. If I'm going to represent them like you do with as an ambassador, I hate that word, by the way, but
I do. I know. It sounds
it kind of puts us on a plateau or a level that people get a little jealous and whatever, or they say, well, why aren't I that, or whatever. And so it's a competitive kind of word that I don't like, because
it sounds,
get away from that. But anyway, it's just it's the English language, and it's the way of expressing our relationship, I guess.
Yeah.
I got all off track, but anyway, name of the book is A Sasquatch Story, My Life with the Clan of RE. And, a lot of pictures and of everything, of stuff I found and stuff. So that relate to the pictures are a big part of the stories, because there's a lot of, you blowing me a kiss, brother?
no, my wife is here.
I think I gotta go. No, I'm just joking.
I didn't realize that the chat took off all the way down here.
I'm teasing you, man. I'm teasing you.
Yeah. No. I realize that I'm just a big dumb animal, and I don't know how to work this thing.
Oh my, Sarah Normal Activity says only you know. Oh, okay. I thought she said only you know the truth. She said only I know my truth. Okay.
I read it that way too, to be honest with you.
Only I know the truth. Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say, well, she thinks highly of you. She must hear me talk about you all the time in the house.
Only you know the truth. But no, that's true. Only you know your truth. But Sir Brian, though, I guess I've been knighted now. I don't know.
Yeah.
You gotta have a sense of humor, right? Some of these people I know, like Camping with Sasquatch, that individual's on my YouTube channel.
Well, a lot of people, I'm sure a lot of people watch and don't, I notice a lot, there's some people here that don't always comment, but like you brought that out, like that's the beauty of it. Like some people are here from when I did Pork and Beans, you know what I mean? So I'm sure they see you here now, and they, it's good. I mean, I hope that people go over. So I'm gonna say it now. Pork and Beans is on Facebook. It's his podcast. It's amazing. The guests are not. If you like what we do here at LAB, you will like all the guests that come through there. They are wonderful, wonderful people. The way Pork and Beans, Brian and Michael do their show. That's just what they call themselves, Pork and Beans. It's very comical in the first few seconds. It's fun. It's great. It's really, really great. I do not. If you don't have Facebook, you can wait, and then it comes out on YouTube later. You won't catch it live, but they put it there later, and then I forget the exact name of all that. So if you want to do the YouTube channel,
Sasquatch BC. Like the initial BC, like British Columbia. That's like Sasquatch BC, the true story. Yeah, I see my friend Robin McRae's on here. Oh yeah, love me some porn and beans. Yeah, a couple times I misspelt it.
Yeah, I don't think.
No, a couple times I put that on the title. I misspelt it by not.
Shit.
Porn and beans.
Oh, see, well, that's where Camping with Sasquatch found me. See, so that's cool. I like that. That's good.
Yeah, but anyway, the show's good because we don't go for this monster crap,
No, that's
stuff or whatever. And
yes.
I'm not saying that some people haven't had those experiences,
right?
But there can be two identical experiences. Like one guy can, one guy can see a Sasquatch standing in the tree line looking at them. That's the most terrifying, I just got away with my life experience that they can think of. And another person will just think, this is amazing. Here's my friend standing here, or, they won't have any fear. So a lot of these experiences are about interpretation, right? You know, you can have
Absolutely.
the same
Perception is
identical
everything, right?
experience. Yeah, and
We talked about that. Like the way I perceive a rock throw is playful. Like if they wanted to hit me, they would have hit me. But you'll have somebody else who had the same experience go on somebody's show and you know, they tried to kill me. You know, they tried to take my head off. They're such monsters. And you know, other people say they growled and this and that. Like some people say they showed their teeth. They were trying to scare me. I'll be like, they smiled at me. You know, like it's all personal. Like, and I always say too, like heaven exists to millions of people, right? Heaven exists to millions of people, but it's not the same thing for any two people. You'll never get the same answer of what heaven is from from two different people.
Yeah. No, yeah, the rock thing is interesting. Yeah, like you said, that's the example I use too, because when I see a little, quite often they'll throw a little rock out on the path in front of me, just a tiny little rock, and it's just like, hi, we're here, and it's just letting me know they're there, and then I can usually feel their energy or something in conjunction with that. And like you said, other people grab their gun and they're just like, it's the most terrifying moment of their life, right? And they just want to, you know, so it's all perspective, that's for sure. Like Eric Monroe says.
So New Zealand is one of the best spots, honestly. I think it's one of the most. I know a lot of people in New Zealand who have a lot of activity, so it's probably possible.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, we just had a guy on. What was his name? This guy, I thought he was just using a phony name, Marco Polo.
Marco Polo,
that's
yeah.
his real name,
Marco Polo. Yeah.
And he's from New Zealand.
Yeah, he asked me to be on a show. I got to get back in touch with him. I didn't know he had like a show. He came on the other day when I was hanging out with him and Michael. I came on for a little bit, but he was under Grant Cameron's name. It was kind of funny, like, because he was using his Zoom or something. Like, I don't know, you weren't there, but it was funny.
Yeah, no, I didn't make that one. I'm not home, eh? That's why I haven't been doing the pork and bean show for about a week and a half or so, because I'm in Linden, Washington. I'm helping my wife move up. So they're going to start up. The shows are going to start up again in December, early December. But yeah, I like the show because we don't focus, like I said, on the fear factor, and a lot of people have the kind of experiences that we've had, but they don't have anybody to talk to about it. And some of this amazing stuff that we've experienced, when we start talking about it, other people say, I've had that too. And then it gives validity to their experiences. So it's very important, you know, in that way. And I think that's one of the best things about the show is that, you know, when you've seen Sasquatch appear in your room out of thin air, or you know, you get all these lessons and all these really deep spiritual things happening or whatever, and you're willing to talk about them with, you know, because you don't care about ego, or you don't care about if people believe you or not. You care more about getting, I guess you could say, message out there. That's important for people to hear, because it opens them up and gives them the courage to talk about it, or like I said, makes their experiences valid, you know, because some of them never talk to other people about them.
Yeah. Well, one of the main things. Yeah, we will. Yes, we'll do one. Yeah, when the kids go to school, we'll do a live, because we need to talk about the stuff that's been happening at the house, and not to me, to you and the kids. And some other stuff that we experienced. But okay, yeah, she has. Yeah, sorry. We'll definitely cover it tomorrow.
Who's paranormal activity? Is that your wife?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen. She's got to quit calling me sir, though. I feel like I'm a.
It's just what she does. It's just.
It's fine, but I don't. It's not required, right?
Yeah, I know. Anyway, so one of the big things I had, one of the big messages I was to carry was, it happened here in the suburbs of Long Island, like where it's not supposed to, right? And And not just that physical first one, it's all the extra stuff too, the paranormal stuff, the orbs, the portals, all these wonderful, wonderful things, the interdimensional, travel, the showing up in the house, everything coming into the backyard in a busy neighborhood. So a lot of these things are for me to pass on so other people can carry that out. Like, because I hear people say it all the time, well, I can't get out and I can't. Do you have some trees in the backyard? You got a little tree line back there? Like, you really don't got to go far to do it.
No.
You
Well,
really
actually,
don't.
I'll even go further than that. Like Mike Carroll, he's only been in the woods maybe once in his life or something. He never goes anywhere. He's got a
Right.
connection with them. It's about the individual. It's not about the area.
But that was one of the beautiful things that Marco Polo was talking about the other day too, was he said where he is, he's in a busy city in New Zealand. So he goes to the, like, almost what's like Central Park in New York City. It's some similar to that. Like, it's just a park, and it's very beautiful and wooded and ancient forest, but it's in the middle of what's our city now. And that's something I say too all the time. Just because we slap a trail down it, just because we slap a road on it, down the middle of it, just because we slap some houses around, doesn't mean that things are just gonna go, oh, okay, they're here now, let's just go. Like, it doesn't necessarily work that way.
No, I guess you've heard of Vancouver, right? The city of Vancouver.
I wish I've been there.
No, you've heard of it, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. I love Vancouver Island's top place I want to go.
Well, anyway, Vancouver is a great big city. I've had Sasquatch experiences there, like where I've actually seen them and stuff. Like some of them had an incredible experience there. Actually, very detailed. A bunch of different things happened, but it's not really so much about location. It's about if they want to connect with you. If they want to connect with you, they'll connect with you anywhere. Yeah.
But the feather, tell them. All right, I wasn't.
Is it really noisy? Can you hear a bunch of noise in the background?
Oh yeah. We've been hearing it. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Okay.
You're in your house, bro. Things happen. She's gotta live there too. No big deal. This is a very laxed place. I don't care.
I can't have that on the Pork and Bean show, though. What's that?
Yeah, no. So she's telling me to tell you guys about the feather. So we're standing there, and a couple of things have been happening. Like things that have happened to me, where I got gifted right in the house. Mike Patterson talks about it all the time. Like marbles will materialize out of nowhere.
Yeah. These
things have been happening at our house up in the Catskills, but not to me, which is amazing. It's been happening to the family. They've all been getting separate interactions. So Sarah, the other day we were just getting ready to, I don't know what we were doing, but we were standing next to each other and like going by our desk or something. And this beautiful red feather, no idea what it belongs to. No idea. Just comes right out of her sleeve and into her hand or whatever. That's basically how, like a magic trick. And it just was in her hand. And it's about this big. This is the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. And it just, I just was like, that's awesome. Like, and she's like, what, like, I don't understand. I'm like, that. I'm like, I'm pretty sure you just got gifted, but,
That's crazy. Cool, yeah. So
she's saying, too, the marbles, I wasn't there. She was, our daughter, and I'm still confused. I'm not confused. I know where it came from, but how do they do it? I don't necessarily know. But our daughter was playing on the floor. She's 1 year old, and she's down there playing. And I wasn't home, but Sarah says that all of a sudden, and I have the marbles actually. Yeah. I actually have them right here. So I buy marbles here and there to gift, but I've never gotten these before. And they just came out of nowhere and just rolled towards her. They just were just rolling towards my daughter. And like, we would never give her these, you know what I mean? They're like, but they're these green, they're these beautiful, beautiful green marbles.
Yeah. How old is your daughter?
She's only 1.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't give her marbles.
No, not even on, not on we don't even have these around her on accident. You know what I mean? Like, they're not even in the same areas that she hangs out at. So, but 2 of them just rolled right to her. And I don't know, it's amazing. Like, I've always had these types of things happen, but now it's happening. And our son too, upstairs, he was telling us for a while. And I was blowing him off kind of.
Yeah.
But he kept saying something was outside in the tree. Somebody's outside the window throwing rocks.
Yeah.
And then she comes and gets me, and she's like, "Look at this shit," or whatever, however it happened, or me or her, whatever. But there was a pile of rocks outside the damn window. And you can't get up there on the roof. You can't get up there without a extension ladder and whatever. This is in the middle of the mountains. I don't think anybody's climbing on our roof to put rocks up there or come throw rocks at his window. But he has like not a pile of them, but they're around, like they're big rocks. It's not like, so I probably should have listened to him sooner, but
yeah, well, I mean, they've got a different relationship with you, so they don't have to do that in your face stuff so much. That's kind of my experience too. That happens to people that they're trying to reach out to, like early on, that kind of stuff would happen more often because they're trying to introduce themselves to you. And so it's right in your face kind of thing. But once they've got that connection with you, it's more subtle and more of a teaching kind of thing and more of a spiritual energy thing. So yeah, that's what I would think with that. I guess you'd probably think so too, right?
I find it exciting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he is an indigo baby. So all 3 of our boys are. Our 2-year-old isn't diagnosed yet, but all 3 of our boys, I'm pretty sure, are on the spectrum. So I don't know what it is about that, but these Sasquatch seem to interact with them. I've seen it happen. Where we're out in the woods as a family, and I'm like, why? It's just. But as far as Roman goes, he makes these like high pitched noises. I think that might attract them to some level. I don't know.
Yeah. You want to hear a real connected? This is a pretty incredible story my wife shared with me. You want to hear that?
Yeah, I got a few minutes. Yeah.
It just really speaks about the connection of everything, like that we're all connected with nature and the trees and everything. We're just, I know that from feeling it energetically and just, like a knowing, but, sometimes it's spelled out in obvious ways. So my wife's walking along a path in the forest, and she's walking along greeting all the ferns along the trail, because we're connected with everything. So, like you just, hi, how you doing? Hello. As she's walking by all the ferns, right? She's saying hello to them and saying that for quite a while, walking along, and they're on both sides. Hello, how are you? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
And as she's doing that, at that very moment, she looks on the forest path right below her feet, and spelt out like in the sand, like big or on the dirt path, right in big bold letters, is a hello.
Wow.
Right below her feet, as she's greeting everything. Hello, how are you? Opening
her
heart, and it's spelled out right below her feet. Hello, and that is no way a coincidence. That's
no.
So.
No.
And she found, I've got the picture too. It just that just blows my mind. Like, I understand it, that kind of stuff. I understand what it is, and that kind of stuff happens to me as well. But when I hear it from somebody else, like my wife or something,
but that's the beauty of it. Like it's. I don't want to say it gets. I don't want to say like we like take it for granted or like or it gets old or anything like that, because it doesn't. But when it happens to somebody else, it's almost more exciting because it's like, yes, like
yeah. Yeah, no, it is, because especially somebody you know, because we've had those experiences when they happen to somebody else. You see you understand what's going on, and even though she does, she's very evolved too. She knows what's going on, but it's exciting to see other people experience it more so than yourself in a way. Yeah, just for that very fact, right? So you can imagine you're just in the moment saying hello to these ferns, these fern fawns, and nature and whatever, and then right below your feet is hello, like a big obvious hello. Like wasn't a little tiny thing, it was big, big letters written in the sand or in the dirt. And it kind of speaks of that linear time thing, because I don't know if it was there right after she formulated the thought, or maybe even before she formulated the thought, but it's remarkable that she could think it and it was there. And I've experienced the same kind of thing. Like I'll think something and then it's there in a lesson or whatever. So anyway, so that blew my mind. I thought that was amazing. And it just talks about the connective nature of everything, like she's greeting nature hello and pouring her heart out to it, and it's right there on the path right below her feet. And so then she found this little candy. This little candy, when you go to the restaurants, they give you these little individual wrapped candies, right?
Yeah.
So she found one on the forest path, and she picked it up, and there was a structure just off to the right, and so she wanted to offer it to the Sasquatch. I guess she threw it to try to land it on the structure as a gift for the Sasquatch people. But she overshot it, and it went over the structure, and then she just left it there. She didn't go and retrieve it, and went home. And then the next day, there's this little Sasquatch stuffed animal that she has up on her shelf in the place that she lives, and she was there for 3 years. She never ever touched it, never moved it, never did anything with it. It just sat up there for 3 years, right?
Yeah.
For some reason, which I'm going to say for some reason as the explanation, but I know there was a reason for it. She was
I got
to do this. For some reason, she reached up on the shelf to bring it down. And as she was bringing it down, the identical candy, or the identical kind of candy that she threw as a gift the day before, fell down onto the floor right in front of her.
That's a beautiful thing, huh?
Yeah. So, that's the kind of stuff that these guys do, and
it's like it's like the patience it must take to you know what I mean? That's the craziest thing. Like 3 years later, right? It's amazing.
3 years later. This is the next day.
Yeah, some of the stuff is I don't know if it's like I don't know. That's where I don't think time exists to them. I really don't think time is like an issue. I really don't. Because I really don't.
No,
I really don't think time exists.
No, that was one of the big lessons with me. They've been showing me that for years and many different ways.
Good.
No, it doesn't. It's not linear.
Good. Okay.
It's not like with us. Like my clan leader, for instance, because of that fact, what's this person saying? Maybe 3 years to us is not to them. Well, yeah, that's true. For instance, like I'll come up with a meaning, like I said, for a glyph. Like I came up with a meaning for the Y stick. It was arrangement between myself and them. And it meant man, Sasquatch connected. So one of the shafts is man, Sasquatch, and then the main long shaft is connected.
Okay. Good.
And came up with that meaning. The very next day, they're leaving me these profound messages with the Y that just the circumstances would have refined them. I knew for sure that was what they were saying. That that is what it means. And they showed me when they left me that. But then I'm looking back at pictures to make one of my videos, and was looking for a specific glyph of, because I was making videos on my wife glyph, our connection glyph. They have a connection glyph for us. And I looked at it and I saw the Y curved into it. And I said, which means, you know, my wife and I were connected. Sasquatch and man are connected. We're connected to you. And I looked at it and I said, those guys already knew 5 years before what the meaning was going to be. And I can tell you like probably 40, 50 other examples where I look back and I saw the same thing, where it was just so obvious that was what they were doing. So yeah, they know what you're thinking or what you're going to come up with before you even do it. They know you're going to go to the forest before you even get in your car. Kind of
for sure. But that's why I always like, people always say like, oh, be careful, like don't let them follow you home. I'm like, what? I'm like, hold on. Like I don't know how to like, they don't, it's not like they're like catching your scent and like, you know, like follow, you know, like following it back to the house. Like, you know, it's they're telepathic. First of all, like if they wanted to, they could literally just watch you drive and every turn you know what I mean, and then just show up.
No, like they
watch you leave the place.
They can have 2 or 3 different individuals that they're working on to bring them to a certain point of a meeting where they've got, each person has a different element of the story and the lesson as it unfolds. You know, it's just incredible how they can do that. I'll tell you one more quick one. I know you probably didn't want to stay on this long.
Yeah, but it's okay.
But you know, like a friend of mine and myself, we went out to the woods and I took him out there, and he hadn't gone out with me before, and he likes mushrooms, using mushroom clubs and whatever. I'm not talking about the magic mushrooms, although he probably likes those too, but but just you know, like people are into mushrooms, right?
Yeah,
fungi or whatever, and so
it's like a way of life for some people.
Yeah. So he was more interested in looking for the mushrooms and the structures and the footprints that we were finding, because we were finding tracks and we were finding structures. This guy was so into mushrooms that would interested him more than that, right? Which I can't even fathom. But anyway, so
it was helpful though. Like quickly, but one of my friends is really interested in like fungi and mushrooms and stuff, and he told me about mycelium and how it's under, and how it's like a connection, you know, like a connection piece, like through like under the forest, you know, floor basically. And it was very helpful for me. But I mean, you know, some of the stuff is really intriguing.
Yeah. So anyway, so we're walking along, and this guy was a tracker too, right? So he's very observant. He sees everything. He observes everything because he's a tracker, right? Or he was a tracker. Anyway, he comes up to this, he sees this little broken off piece of stick, and it's got a bunch of mushrooms growing on it, right? And he's very observant. So where it was placed, that kind of tree was not there. Yeah. So it shouldn't have fallen from a tree above or whatever. It had to have been placed there. And so he knew right away, right there, that there was something odd there. And I knew they left you that because they know that you're interested in mushrooms. So that was kind of a lesson for him, because he knew that it had to have been placed there. It just didn't fall there naturally. Okay.
Yeah.
And so that got him really interested right off the bat. He realized just from that little thing that there was something magical going on, and that they were reaching out to him like that. So then we're walking around, and I'm showing him some other stuff, and we walked to this little area, and it was kind of, you had to go in one way and out the other way. There was no other way to get in and out. And as we came back, there was this big long spike, about a 12-inch spike. And this guy, like I said, was a tracker. He said, there's no way that was there when we went in just a few minutes later. He said, that was just placed there. So that was another thing, okay? And I believed him, because he was finding all kinds of stuff and very observant, just because of his nature of being a tracker and stuff. So he knew that spike was not there. So then we went back to this restaurant where we hang out, and we saw this other guy there, and started showing him the spike and whatever, right, and telling him about all our experiences and about what we experienced there. And this guy, like, his face went absolutely white. He said, basically, what the, like expletives. And he said, I was just headed to the hardware store to get those exact spikes.
Wow.
He couldn't believe it when we showed it to him. He was headed there, and this, they were kind of unusual. I mean, I guess they're not rare, but
No, that's
there
cool
was
though.
no coincidence. So he was there, headed to the hardware store to get those exact spikes. And
So that's where that whole coincidence comes into play.
So, but this gets way better, man. So, sorry for the noise. So anyway, they brought us all together for what was going to unfold. So this guy was going, like I said, to the store for those exact spikes, and this guy doesn't even believe in, I mean, he might believe in Sasquatch. I don't know. He might be open-minded. I'm not sure. But he knew something significant just where that was going on. So as we're talking, I said, the restaurant was actually about to close. It's kind of a place we hang out. And, it's kind of like a family kind of thing. We're all chatting and everyone's just talking. It's a really nice place. So I said, can I tell you one more story? Because they were just about to close. And so I start telling him about how they can take pictures off of cameras. They can add pictures or take pictures off of cameras, or they can even add objects onto pictures. Like they can put something on a camera after the fact, like it can appear in the picture after the fact, or they can put an object after the fact, or like I said, they can remove or add pictures to your camera.
Yep.
And once again, I've had a lot of experiences with that, so it's undeniable from my experience.
Yep.
So I'm telling this guy about how they can do that, and I said to the friend I went out in the woods with, his name was Cowboy, or we called him Cowboy. I said, hey, show the guy the picture of the mushrooms on the stick, because it was kind of central to how the whole thing started to unfold. And so he took about, I don't know, maybe 100 pictures that day. Maybe not that many, but quite a few pictures that day. And I saw him take a picture of those mushrooms. I absolutely saw him take a picture of them. I remember him standing over it and taking it. So he's looking, as I'm talking about them removing pictures from the camera to this other guy, this Cowboy guy's looking for the picture of the mushrooms. And he couldn't find it. Wasn't there. He went through the pictures about 5 times. It was like on an iPhone, and the little, he couldn't find the picture. So I'm just talking about them removing pictures from the camera. And as I'm talking about that, we're looking for a certain picture, and what happens, it's gone. Every other picture was there other than that one, right? So, so that was like, none of this stuff is a coincidence, obviously. And so,
well, I mean, you were there, and then that guy got shown something, and then the spike, and then it's almost like it's not coincidence. It's like they knew everything that you guys were about to do, and kind of before you.
That's the time thing too. I'm talking about, like, no time. They said it. It's like they said it all, arranged it all, right?
So
then we're headed. This other guy and myself were headed out of the restaurant. I gave him a ride home, and he wanted to stop and get a 6-pack of beer or something, I think. And so as we're walking there, we're looking at the camera again, and I said, can I see let's check that camera again just to be sure. As he's looking through it, there's like a interdimensional picture on his camera. It was like bizarre, man. I mean, it was on his camera, and then as he goes through the slides, you know how you have the little thumbnail pictures on your camera? Like, I'm not a camera guy. I got like a flip phone, so I don't know. But anyway, the little thumbnail pictures. So there's this psychedelic kind of interdimensional picture added to the camera that wasn't there before. And as we compared the pictures to the timeline and what we did that day. So we knew where this new picture showed up, where it was in relation to the events that unfolded during that day. And it was in the exact place where they had removed the mushroom picture. So they took that mushroom picture off. After the fact, they added a new picture that was kind of interdimensional, right?
Yeah.
And by the way, I've got all these pictures and stuff.
Right. I was gonna say, it's funny that you brought this topic up because it's been a while since they've added pictures like that to me, and they just did it. Like it just happened the other day, and I was like, thinking about how I'm gonna share them with everybody because it's only 3 pictures. So it's like, I don't want to say only, but like, how do I share it? I don't want to make a whole video about it, So,
but I'm talking about something, explaining something to a person, and they do the exact thing that's so up, like they adding pictures, taking pictures. It's just like amazing and beautiful. So, and then, so I said, so they added that picture and the psychedelic picture. And then when I took him home, we're just standing around his truck talking for a while, and he's got a bunch of bikes and stuff in the back of his truck bed. All of a sudden, one of them just flips right over and bang, like it was kind of like just like the cherry on top, just to let us know that they were with us like the whole time, right? So just amazing stuff.
And like that's the part that I was talking about earlier, like removing doubt for myself, like in the early days, and like I think they go through us now to remove doubt and almost like I don't want to say prove things, but like prove things, you know what I mean? Like show different ways and things through us, almost like we're like vessels or ambassadors or whatever, messengers, however you want to put it, but like it's I can only tell people like, hey, like if we go out, like I don't want to sound cocky, but some weird crap is gonna happen. Like it's gonna get weird out there, and not in like any way I can expect. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I can pretty much guarantee it's gonna get weird.
That's funny, but yeah, it's true, right? Yeah.
But the last guy that came out with me again, we've been out a bunch of times, but when I took him to my main tribes area, like he had one of those things inserted in his video, and it's a photo, and it's a split second of like a grid, and it looks like almost like a portal or something on the other side of the veil, like some kind of like grid, but it was. Yeah. We don't know what it is necessarily. Like we can speculate, but I would like to try and get a solid answer before I start letting my own opinions start to run wild,
Yeah, it kind of looks interdimensional though, I guess, eh?
Yeah. If I had to guess, yeah.
We haven't even got into like the shape shifting and all that kind of, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. We could go on for hours, man.
Yeah, we'll definitely dive back into it, especially when we got more time, and when you're I know it's always short notice. Like I apologize to everyone for it all the time, but it's just the way the cookies, it's the way things fall for me right now. It's just the way it is for me right now. But,
no, I'm good with it.
Yeah.
You're a friend. I enjoy talking to you.
No, absolutely. I appreciate it, brother. I thank you for coming by, and I will continue. If you guys want to go to Facebook, Pork and Beans Show, that's where you'll find them. But I could share the YouTube stuff over here when you guys keep putting stuff out.
Yeah, if you want to, because I put all my. That's what I'm guided to do, is to share all the stuff, because it opens up people's minds and hearts, and because when you realize there's magic in the world, it changes your whole perspective on things, and so it's important for me to share everything, and like on the YouTube channel, I've got about 120 or 30 Pork and Beans episodes edited, and you've seen my edits. They're pretty fun, right?
Yeah, no, everything you do is good. Like, it's amazing.
But well, thank you.
Everything you do is great. I mean, I'm not just saying it to say it, but it is. Like, it is. I don't know how to edit, so I think it's a beautiful thing. Like, how you put the pictures in there of some things, and then, but even the places you go, when you go into the field, you'll get the Tom, Dick, and Andy that think that it's that a person was out there and did it, but you know how it is. Sometimes it is somebody doing bushcraft, but
Oh yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah.
You get the drift.
But anyway, but not only do I have the pork and bean shows on there, I got like my personal lessons that they taught me, and just like experience videos and stuff. So it's a fun channel. I really enjoy doing it. And
Support Zuckerberg. Oh
well,
I don't. Yeah.
that's fine. I understand that, but you know what? I'm using Zuckerberg against himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is what
He don't want to hear. He don't want to hear this stuff about us all being all one and all connected or whatever. But if you can use this platform because it's so popular or whatever, and do stuff on there that he wouldn't approve of, then go for it, right? I mean, where am I? People say go to these alternative sites or whatever, but for one thing, I'm not computer literate like you are. I don't know how to do all those things, or I don't know all those sites. So I'm just going to go where I can reach the most people. And unfortunately, even though I don't like Zuckerberg or True Dung or any of these morons around today, if I can utilize what they offer in order to put the message out there, then that's true. Then that's why I use it. So I'm not supporting these guys either, but
they all own each other anyway. Like it don't matter. If everybody knew who owns what, you'd realize how closely connected they all are anyway. So,
well, there's another thing about that is that we're having an awakening. That's why the Sasquatch people are here right now. They're kind of opening our hearts and our spiritual things, and that we're all connected and everything. And so they're doing all that kind of stuff. And so these guys who are so nefarious, all these guys who are pushing all these agendas and controlling us and all this like bullshit scare of the last couple of years and whatever, and that are going on forever with people. All this stuff is actually they're actually doing good work in a way, because if they weren't being so over the top and so obvious, then we might not wake up. We might just go along as la-di-da-di-da as usual and just be controlled and lied to about that we're divided and separated and that judgment's a good thing or whatever. If it wasn't so obvious that we're starting to look at things and examining things and say this isn't right. So in a way they're helping us to wake up. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I get, there's always going to be somebody that's up top that owns something that we use, and that's just the way of the world. Like this is, it's somebody's. There's always going to be somebody at the top, but social media is how we reach each other and how we can. It's the only platform we really have, that we can reach the masses, or try to at least,
Yeah, so I don't like Zuckerberg and those guys. I don't like people, well, that's a hard word, because if you prescribe to no judgment, then you can't. It's a fine line. I don't hate them. I don't support them. I don't support what they're doing. Although I think that, like I said,
I'll be honest.
But like I said, you have to reach people. So whatever is available, you have to use. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, Facebook, as bad as the people who run it are, is a platform where you can reach people. So.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I seen this. I don't know a lot about the CEOs of places, but the one thing I watched was a movie called Steve Jobs or something. And I couldn't believe they actually fired the guy from the thing that, he created Apple, and they they fired him. I couldn't believe that. Like he created Apple, and then basically the board he created let him go. I think they brought him back eventually, but it was amazing to me.
Yeah.
Well, that's savage. Like, to me, that's savage.
Well, people say that the Sasquatch are monsters and savage, and or the First Nations people are indigenous people, but we're the freaking savages, man.
What's it? But that's what people do. Like, I mean, even I know guys who do it to 90-pound women. Oh, they break up with a girl. She's crazy. She's a monster. She's nuts. She'll kill you. Like 90 pounds. Like you loved her yesterday. But it's just what people do. Like they're afraid of something, or they just want you to stay away from something. They want to categorize something crazy or monster or whatever. It just categorizes them in this, in this spot.
Well, the other thing is there's a reason why Sasquatch and that are categorized as monsters, and that's because they've got a message of hope and an awakening message for us, and when you're being controlled by people, and when you're being controlled by fear and judgment and division and all the lies that we've been lied to about through eons and through our history or whatever, they don't want the message of the Sasquatch to come out there, because that will empower us and make us realize that we're not all one. We're not powerless. There's nothing to fear. And stuff like that, because
it's so true.
That's going to wake people up and empower people, and they don't want that.
No, there's a lot of reasons. Yeah, you're right though. You're right.
That's one of them.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. Well, thank you, brother. I appreciate you being here. I got like a million things I got to answer to, and my phone's gonna die anyway. But
all right.
We will most definitely reconvene. I appreciate you hopping on, even though you literally rolled out of bed. And
yeah, no worries.
No, that's very cool of you. I appreciate you, because I've really been wanting to get you on here and introduce you to everybody, and vice versa.
I'll go on anytime, man. Anytime.
Yeah, I know. So likewise. So thank you, guys. Thank you all for being here. All your questions, comments, support. It goes a long way, So
I'd like to do that on the Pork and Bean Show, actually, just have an impromptu kind of thing. So maybe, but
yeah, it's kind of fun, Like I
on there and start. How many people do you have watching? How many people do you have like joining in on these things, as far as like watching?
People come and go. Like, it was short notice, but people come and go. There was around 20 the whole time. Right now there's cool. 17. I don't know. People come in and leave and come. It's Sunday, you know what I mean? So people are doing stuff, but like I'd say there was 15, 20 here the whole time. But
that's cool. Okay, man. I'll come back any old time, and we'll have you back on the show too.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for being here. I appreciate all you guys and your time and spending time with us on your Sunday. Have a blessed rest of your, Sunday and your weekend, and catch up with you guys soon. All right, Brian. Thank you, brother.
Yeah. See ya.
All right, friends. As always, thank you. Brother Anthony, good to see you. All you guys who are here, yes, thank you. Scotty, Mods, all of you. You know who you are. I appreciate you all. Thank you for being here. I got to run. Went a lot longer than I expected. Really, really a lot longer. But it's always, with guys like Brian, you could just go forever and just literally just go forever. There's so much endless things to talk about. So if you guys, I'm telling you guys, I can comfortably say you won't be disappointed. You really won't be disappointed if you go and check out the Pork and Bean Show on Facebook. If you're not into the Facebook thing, the live will come over to the YouTube side, and then but I'm telling you, like him in the field, the guests they have, just, if I could do a podcast, I would do it the way they do it. Dope. Just, you'll love it. As always, thank you. Appreciate you. Have a blessed day. Catch you later.